previously on keeping up with the Kenya Kwanza government.
Na ilikuwa sio kazi rahisi, simulisikia iko makelele mingi. Kwa sababu unajua kurekebisha kitu iko na watu wamezoea maneno hapo katikati, lazima upite na hawa kidogo ndio mambo iende sawa sawa.
Tupatie insight.
The point evidence they have is that they have already wamefaulu to extend the election.
Is President Ruto plotting to rule for life? If you've been scrolling through the internet lately, chances are you have seen the word state of emergency blazing across your timeline. The phrase has been trending furiously in the wake of two seismic protests that recently rocked the country. The June 25th nationwide protest and the infamous Sabas Saba demonstrations. In the aftermath of these protests, the nation has been left reeling. Lives lost, businesses reduced to rubble, countless injured, and many still languishing in hospital wards, nursing wounds that go far beyond the physical. But it was the Sabas Saba protest that truly shook the country. At least 31 people were reported dead, 107 injured, 2 kidnapped, and Nairobi's CBD was eerily emptied.
So kiangalia, we are just at National Archives, and this is the current situation in National Archives. Kencom, very deserted. This is Moi Avenue going down to railways, deserted. The other side, naona kuna wasee wa media wanakuja huko press. Moi Avenue going up that side, it's also deserted.
The capital went under a total lockdown. No cars allowed in, no pedestrians except for medics, police, and journalists. Shops shuttered, streets deserted.
Ukiona walinda usalama wako pale tu. Sijui mbona anaenda, anatoka wapi, kama mimi aende nyumbani.
Nairobi transformed overnight into a ghost city, silence swallowing its usual chaos. As images of the abandoned capital flooded social media, Kenyans began asking one pressing question. Was this a preparation to a state of emergency? The more people asked, the louder the whispers grew.
We have seen every kind of indication as to what this regime is all about. This government is doing the proverbial hyena conduct, that before it consumes of its own, it accuses them of smelling like goats. And therefore this government is gaslighting Kenyans. It is setting up the country, even getting behind some of the goonism that we are seeing, and the looting that we witnessed, and the excesses that we have seen, the arson exercises that we've had. It's basically meant to make the country so unstable so that they can have an excuse, because it is in the constitution.
Many saw the lockdown as a dress rehearsal by the government, a hint that President Ruto might be preparing to pull the ultimate constitutional lever, declaring a state of emergency. Among the voices sounding the alarm was Mother Karua. She accused President Ruto of plotting to exploit the protests as a springboard to suspend normalcy, suggesting that his endgame was to block elections in 2027 and extend his grip on power.
Vile naona Kasongo akiendelea, anataka kuharibu nchi ndivyo aweze kudeclare state of emergency. Ameona ya kwamba Kasongo ameona siku zake ziko karibu kuisha. Anatuma wahuni kuchoma police stations, anawachoma, kuharibu mali ya serikali, kisha anasema ni wafuasi wetu wanafanya ile. Sisi ajue ya kwamba hatutamruhusu kamwe kukeuka katiba ya Kenya na kupeleka hii nchi kwa state of emergency.
That you cannot have an election if the country is unstable. And William Ruto knows he's going. Now he's preparing the grounds for the country not to have elections. That's why you're seeing the insecurity that is ensuing. That is why you're seeing the illegal, outrageous declarations made in open camera by the CS, knowing too well that it is illegal, it is unconstitutional, and it's going to spark a public outrage. That is essentially what they are doing. Spark that outrage, make the country unstable, declare a state of emergency, and say we cannot go into election in this kind of scenario. That is exactly what we are being set up for, and we must be woke.
But the state of emergency isn't the only card allegedly up Ruto's sleeve. Ndura Waruinge claims the president is deliberately stalling the appointment of IEBC commissioners to sabotage the electoral body's readiness for 2027.
In mambo ya kuchaguana, one thing, it will never happen as stipulated, the 5 years term. Right now we don't have an IEBC. How many years are we remaining to the election? 2. According to Kiligila report, there must be an electoral body 2 years prior to the election, so for the preparations. So deliberately or coincidentally or uncoincidentally, we don't have it, meaning in 2 years' time we cannot be able, in 6 months' time from now, if we were to have the commission, they will be nominated. Then after nomination, they will be taken to parliament for vetting, and also before nomination there will be a period of interviewing people. It will take like how many days? 2 months. Then we have taken to parliament another 1 month. Or that it will take a span like of 5 months from today. If it was to be done today, it will take 5 months to have a commission in place. So if we have the commission in place 5 months and we are in January, meaning mwezi wa saba ndio tutapata the commission. So then we will be remaining with 1.25 years. According to the constitution and according to the Kriegler suggestions, it means we will not have a commission properly done as per to the date of the next election when it's supposed to be done. Meaning that will call for an addition of 1 year or 2 years for an election to be done, because the commission is not properly constituted according to what is written. So there will be a genuine request for postponement or for the push, because those who will be put in the position, they will say we are not able to produce or to give a credible election. So we are requesting for 2 more years. Those are 7 years for Ruto. Then if he manages to win, then he will have another 5 years, meaning he will be in 12 years. That's why I told you they are planning for 12 to 14 years leadership here, Ruto.
Okay. What people say.
The confidence they have is that...
Tupatie insight.
The confidence they have is that they have already wamefaulu ku-extend the election. Hiyo ni confidence number 1. They wamefaulu ku-extend the period of the election. We cannot be able, as things are now, if we don't have a commission by next month, then it means we will not have an election during the stipulated time. Sasa hiyo confidence wako nayo. Because hata si wao wataitisha, ni the body itself. Hata hapo anaweza kuweka Mkikuyu akuwe ndio chairman wa body, ndio aitishe postponement, asukume kidogo. Then you remember the reconstitution of the entire system, because when we have a new team, we are going to have new members of the constitution, the commission, all over, and then procurements, wale watafanya biodata, wale wataleta masanduku, wale wataprint papers, wale watafanya kila kitu. You find that time will not be on the other side. And this thing cannot be done without a commission in place. That's number one. That's the confidence. Because walitaka kuilete, they prepared us through Cherargei. When Cherargei went to the Senate kusema tukuwe na one-term president wa 7 years. Because they wanted, now because it is one term, wakibadilisha this term will be scrapped. Ruto hatakuwa amehesabiwa kwa hii term. Sasa atahesabiwa for the next term that will be 7 years. 12 years bado zimeingia. So these guys are working for a 14-year term. But remember, kuna mambo ingine huko chini which is inatengenezeka. Kuna vitu mingi vinatengenezeka which will be a total mayhem as we go, as we move forward, because they are not ready to release this seat. They are not ready to relinquish. Not unless there is something like a coup. There is something like kuna vita fulani ama kuna kitu kitasababisha. Wanaomba sana hii kitu, the new corona ikuje. They are really praying for it to come. And then they would shut down Kenya.
State of emergency
and everything. Then they will come and say, because of what happened, we cannot be able to hold the election. Because for them is to make sure an election is not being held as stipulated. That is their plan. And they have worked on it. They have succeeded on that one. Then another plan is to make sure that the Mount Kenya has no peace. And who is fighting Mount Kenya? Their own self, their own sons and their own daughters. They are fighting. Kila mtu anapigana, kila mtu anafanya vyake. Then they will keep Gachagua moving around.
Since President Ruto reconstituted the IEBC and named his nominees, the process has been marred in endless hurdles. After parliamentary vetting, 2 citizens challenged the appointment in court. Now, lawyers led by senior counsel Paul Muite are threatening to sue the president, the government printer, Attorney General Dorcas Oduor, and National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula for allegedly defying court orders meant to halt the appointments.
And let me shock you. So, there's some people who are doing exams, who are doing practice for a football match that will not happen.
Adding fuel to the fire is Moses Kuria, one of Ruto's own allies, who has been loudly declaring both online and offline that Kenya might not see elections in 2027. According to Kuria, the only path forward will be a consensus between Ruto's camp and the opposition. Without that, he warns ominously the country risks spiraling into chaos.
There will not be that kind of
presidential
contest. There's not going to be an election in 2027 for presidential.
Say that again.
Yes, there's not going to be a contest. Let me ask you, 2002, yeah. Was there an election?
There was.
So Sabas Saba. Yes. Kibaki had been pre-agreed. Have you ever seen that margin again?
No.
Ilikuwa ngapi?
71
to 20 something. Yeah. Is that an election? That is almost like we're almost rivaling Museveni with his 98%. So because it was a movement. Yeah. So 2027 will be another moment like 2002. There's not going to be an election in the sense that you are thinking. There's going to be so much consensus in the country. Wazee wataketi chini. They say we have 2 options. Go Rwanda way, destroy the nation Rwanda way, or let's agree. Let there be honor among, I don't say thieves, but among men and women.
So, is President Ruto preparing to rule forever? What are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts in our comment section. That is it for now. Thanks for watching. Let's meet next time. Bye-bye.